Hello, friends. Right now, if you're on Medicare and 65 or older, you can get Wegovy for $50 a month, the exact same shot that costs over $1,000 in cash. It went live July 1st, and it disappears December 31st, 2027. Stay with me until number 6, because that's the one almost everyone gets completely backwards, and it decides whether you pay $50 or nothing at all. Let's start with number 1, the price itself, because this is not a rumor and it is not a discount coupon. It's a real Medicare program called the GLP-1 Bridge, and it sets your cost for Wegovy at exactly $50 a month. Not $50 for the first fill and a surprise later. $50 every single month at every dose. When your doctor moves you from the starter pen up to full strength, the price does not climb. It holds at $50. Picture Margaret in Ohio. She started on the 0.25 milligram pen and paid $50, then climbed to 0.5, then 1 milligram, then the full 2.4, and every one of those refills rang up at $50, not a penny more. Compare that to the sticker price. Without help, Wegovy runs north of $1,000 a month. The list price is about $1,349, and some pharmacies quote $1,300 at the counter. That's the gap this program closes. From over $1,000 down to $50, and Medicare's program pays the pharmacy the rest, roughly $1,300 of value handed to you each month. Do the year's math. $50 a month is $600 a year, while that same year of Wegovy at cash price runs past $16,000. Here's the part people miss, and it costs them money. This program started July 1st, 2026, and it was originally written to last only 6 months, ending December of 2026. In April, they extended it by a full year. So now it runs all the way through December 31st, 2027, 18 months total. But that word bridge matters. It is temporary. When it ends, the $50 price ends with it. A man named Robert kept saying, "I'll call next month for 4 months straight." That hesitation cost him roughly $5,200 in savings he'll never get back. So every month you wait is about $1,300, gone for good. The concrete step for number 1. Mark December 31st, 2027 on your calendar today, and treat every month before it as $1,300 you either keep or lose. Number 2. Who actually qualifies, because the rules are specific and most people guess wrong. First, you must be enrolled in Medicare Part D. If your only drug coverage is Part D, you're in the right place. Then, you need to meet one of 3 body weight tiers. Tier 1. A body mass index of 35 or higher that qualifies you on its own, no other condition required. A man who is 5'10" and weighs 250 pounds carries a BMI near 36. That's Tier 1, qualified on weight alone. Tier 2. A BMI of 30 or higher plus 1 serious condition, heart failure, chronic kidney disease at stage 3A or worse, or high blood pressure that stays uncontrolled even though you're already taking 2 medications for it. Tier 3. A BMI of 27 or higher, plus a history of a heart attack, a stroke, prediabetes, or peripheral artery disease. Write those numbers down. 35, 30, 27, because your doctor's office will ask exactly where you land. To make it real, a woman who is 5'4" and weighs 160 pounds has a BMI of about 27.5. Pair that with prediabetes, and she's Tier 3 qualified. Here's the common mistake. People assume they're too healthy to qualify, so they never ask. One retiree, Frank, was certain his numbers were too good, never picked up the phone, and paid $1,300 cash for a single month before his daughter checked and found he'd qualified all along. A BMI of 27 with prediabetes is not a rare profile that describes millions of seniors. About 3.8 million Medicare beneficiaries are estimated to be eligible right now. Don't disqualify yourself in your own head. At your next visit, ask the nurse for your exact BMI number and write it down. Then let the doctor run the tiers. Number 3. Which exact drugs this covers, because getting this wrong wastes weeks. Under the bridge, 3 medications qualify for the $50 price. Wegovy in the injectable pens, Foundayo, which is the Wegovy tablet, and the Zepbound KwikPen. And here is the trap that catches people. Ozempic is not covered under this program. Ozempic and Wegovy contain the same active ingredient, semaglutide, so folks assume they're interchangeable here. They are not. If your doctor writes Ozempic expecting the $50 price, the pharmacy will turn you away and you'll start over, losing a week or two while a new prescription and a new authorization get processed. That happened to a woman named Carol. Her doctor wrote Ozempic out of habit. The pharmacy rejected the $50 rate, and she lost 11 days rebooking before she finally filled Wegovy. 2 lost weeks at the cash rate is about $650 of your time evaporated for a clerical slip. So when you sit down with your doctor, say the word Wegovy specifically and confirm it's the bridge program you're applying to. Quick reminder before we go on, hold on to that number 6, because there's a disqualifier hiding in these rules that trips up the exact people who assume they're a lock. Number 4. How you actually get it. And this surprises everyone. There is no form for you to fill out. You do not enroll yourself, you do not mail anything, and you do not sign up on a website. Instead, your doctor and your pharmacist handle it together through what's called a prior authorization. Your doctor submits the request, and the target decision time is 72 hours, 3 days. So the single action that starts this whole thing is one phone call to your doctor's office asking them to submit a bridge prior authorization for Wegovy. A woman named Ruth made that one call on a Monday morning and was filling her first pen that Thursday. 3 days, $50. If you get stuck, there's a dedicated support line. NovoCare Bridge support at 888-809-3942, open weekdays, 8 in the morning to 8 at night, Eastern Time. The mistake here is passivity. A gentleman named Harold waited 3 months for a letter that was never coming, convinced, the government will process me automatically. 3 months. At $1,300 each is nearly $4,000 he could have kept. Nobody processes you automatically. One phone call and 3 days later is the whole difference. Number 5, and this one protects your budget for the rest of the year. In 2026, Medicare Part D has a hard cap. Once your out-of-pocket drug spending hits $2,100, you pay nothing more for covered drugs the rest of the year. That's a huge protection. But here's what you must understand about the bridge. Your $50 Wegovy payments do not count toward that $2,100 cap. They also don't count toward your Part D deductible, and they can't go into the Medicare prescription payment plan that lets you spread costs over the year. Now, why does that matter? Because if you assume your Wegovy is pushing you toward that cap, you'll misjudge your whole year's budget. Think of Dorothy. She pays $50 a month for Wegovy, $600 a year, and figured that $600 was chipping away at her $2,100 cap, so she expected to hit it by fall on her heart and cholesterol drugs. It wasn't counting at all, and she was $600 off in her planning. The $50 sits in its own separate lane. The good news buried in that, even if you've already hit your $2,100 cap on your other prescriptions, say your insulin and blood pressure pills got you there in September, your Wegovy is still just $50, and it was never counting against you in the first place. So plan your year knowing these are 2 separate buckets, and don't let anyone tell you the $50 used up your cap. It didn't. The concrete step: ask your plan for your year-to-date out-of-pocket total, and keep your Wegovy receipts in a separate pile from everything else. Number 6. The one most people get completely backwards, and it's the whole reason I told you to stay. You would assume that the sicker you are, the easier you qualify. With this program, the opposite is true. If you have been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, obstructive sleep apnea, or the liver condition called MASH, you are disqualified from the $50 bridge. Read that again, because it feels wrong. The very diagnoses people expect to help them are the ones that shut this specific door. Every year, seniors with diabetes call their pharmacy, hear "you don't qualify," and give up, convinced Medicare won't cover Wegovy for them at all. Take George, a type 2 diabetic. He heard denied, assumed it was hopeless, and paid full cash price, over $16,000 across a year, when a second door was open the whole time. That conclusion is the expensive mistake, because there is a second completely separate Medicare pathway. Since March of 2024, Medicare Part D has been allowed to cover Wegovy for cardiovascular risk reduction. That's for adults with established heart disease who are also overweight or obese. It runs through your regular Part D plan. It needs its own separate prior authorization. And unlike the bridge, what you pay there does count toward your $2,100 cap, which for many people means a few months of copays and then zero for the rest of the year. Walter did exactly that. Denied on the bridge for his diabetes, he asked specifically about the heart disease pathway, got approved, paid a few hundred in copays through the spring, and hit zero after June. So if the $50 bridge says no because of a diabetes diagnosis, the heart disease pathway may still say yes. 2 doors. George only knocked on one, heard no, and walked away from thousands of dollars that were his. So here's your one action this week. Pick up the phone, call your doctor's office, and ask them one question. Do I qualify for the $50 Medicare Wegovy bridge? And if not, can you check the cardiovascular pathway? That single call, before the December 2027 deadline, is what turns a $1,000 drug into a $50 one. If this helped you, subscribe and share it with someone on Medicare who needs it, because the people who hear this in time are the ones who actually save the money.